If you let people's perception of you dictate your behavior, you will never grow as a person. But if you leave yourself open to experience, despite what others think, then you will learn and grow.
Hey, Rych Babes, it's your girl Bella Dyor, and today we're going to talk about how to stop caring about what people think of you. Just not giving any AFs, not giving no fucks about what people think about you. If you're tired of letting other people's opinions hold you back, then this video is for you. I know for a fact for myself, growing up, people talked about me throughout my entire life. I mean, it was so terrible. And then to the point where after my divorce and how my family scorned me because now I'm a divorced single mother, and how they just talked about me like a dog. And the fact that I was able to overcome so many things in my life and still be here and not have unalived myself, I swear I give no fuck at this point about anybody else's feelings. Now, of course that there are balances. You can't just be out here reckless and then not caring about other people who really care about you and telling you that, hey, you're moving too fast or you're doing this wrong or whatever. You do have to have some type of balance. I'm talking about when you're ready to step out in this world and be your authentic self, people are going to try you. When you know that you are that girl, you are that girl, and ain't nobody can take that from you. Don't be having these people out here dimming your light, girl. Don't be having these people making you feel negative about yourself and doubting yourself and making you feel unworthy, because you are. At this point in our age, we should not give no fucks. We have been through too much for anyone to step in and make us feel inferior about ourselves. Let's be real. Caring about what people think usually comes from a place of wanting validation or approval. It's natural, but here's the thing. When you can't base your worth on how others see you, start asking yourself, why do I care what they think? Most of the time, it's not even about you. It's about their own insecurities projecting onto you. So, shifting your focus, you need to prioritize your own opinion about yourself above anyone else's. Start investing time into building your own self-worth and confidence. When you truly value yourself, you realize that the external validation is unnecessary. People's opinions will always be temporary and subjective, but your self-respect has to be consistent. So that goes for any and everybody. Anybody can get these AFs. Your mother, sister, brother, cousin, even these damn children. Because at the end of the day, it is called self-preservation, and you have to remember that you come first. Of course, again, hold a healthy balance. I'm not saying be reckless. I'm saying hold a healthy balance. So with that being said, Rych Babes, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. I will be back at the end of this video. Please make sure that you stay to the end of this video. I do have an announcement to make. Okay, so let's go.
Everyone always says fuck what people think, but no one actually talks about how to get there. These are the 3 things that help me care less about what people think about me. Number 1, you have literally 0 control about what people think about you, what people say about you, what people do in their own lives. That is completely out of your control. So if you're living your life to please other people or to try and control someone's perception of you, you just have no control with what they're going to say. So you may as well live your life how you want, because either way, people will always talk, people will always say something about you. So you may as well just live your life how you want. Number 2, get out of your own way. What I mean by this is sometimes we're the problem. When we're living our life in so much fear of how people are judging us or perceiving us, it's usually because of how we know how we judge ourselves or how we judge other people. Maybe the work is learning how to judge people less, or how to be kinder to ourselves and judge ourselves less. Blah, blah, blah. Tongue twister. When I started understanding and being really aware of my judgments towards other people, my judgments towards myself, I started working on that. And then the less I cared about how people were judging me, because I was feeling so much more safer and secure in how I viewed other people and how I was viewing myself. Number 3, if someone wants to talk about you or gossip about you or judge you for just purely existing when you haven't done anything wrong, that's on them. That is a genuinely conscious decision on that person to spend their time and energy talking about you. It's probably stemming from either their own insecurity of how they perceive themselves or how they continuously perceive other people, but that's just on them. And it kind of ties back to number one as well. It's like, you're just going to have to let them, and you're just going to have to learn to release control and just work on how you judge other people and judge yourself. And also just spend your time and energy, like instead of worrying about all this stuff that you can't control, spend your energy actually liking yourself. Like that's number one. If you like yourself, you shouldn't be so concerned about how other people think about you. I like myself. I think I'm fucking great. I think I'm a sick bitch. I think I'm fresh. I think I'm smart, funny, beautiful, driven, honest. And like, why is that vain? Why is that stuck up? It's like, I know who I am. I like who I am. And I think people might get threatened by that. That's okay. Let them. It's out of my control. I used to spend my life pleasing other people so that I had some sort of control over their perception of me. And it doesn't work because, one, either people see straight through, or two, they'll still talk. So anyway, I hope that helped. I love you. Mwah.
All right, here's 9 reasons why you literally shouldn't give a fuck. Number 1, you're literally gonna die. Everything that you're doing right now in your life doesn't matter, you're gonna die. And then everybody who saw the stuff that you did, doesn't matter, they're gonna die too. And then everybody who heard about some stuff that you did in the future, nope, doesn't matter, they're gonna die too. Everybody's gonna die. And this should be the most freeing thing ever. Because you realize, wait, why am I worrying about all this bullshit when I can just do fucking cool stuff? And you realize, I shouldn't give a fuck. Number 2, nobody's thinking about you anyway. There's a spotlight effect, right? You walk into a grocery store, oh, everybody's looking at me, I gotta act like I'm walking, casually. What? Casually. Well, then everybody else is doing that as well. But really, nobody's looking at anybody. So your brain thinks you're the center of the world. Literally, nobody's ever thinking about you. Because they're all focused on their problems just like you are. You're always like, what do my friends think about me? Where am I gonna go to college? What do I do here? What do me. Everybody else is doing that too. Selfish creatures. Number 3, you've solved 100% of the problems in your life up to this point. This one is no different. All the shit that you were worrying about in the past, all the worst cases, all the, it's gonna be terribles, they never turned out that bad, right? You just got over them. And now you're here and you made it through everything. So your problem-solving success rate up until this point in your life is literally 100%. Now this problem feels no different. Just think about all the other problems that felt exactly like this. And they all worked out and you're fine. So this one will be like that too. So don't give a fuck, Chris. Number 4, everybody's opinion of you is subjective. Meaning you see yourself a certain way and somebody else is going to see you a different way. So who's correct? The answer is nobody. So if you could choose to believe the way that you see yourself positively, great, I don't see myself positively, I have no self-esteem, grow up. Or you could choose to see yourself how your hater sees you. Literally just choose to see yourself in a positive light. Because literally every opinion that you have about yourself and your self-worth, you made this shit up. So if you can make it up because it's air, then you can either make up the good thing or the bad thing. And if you have the choice to do both, why would you not choose the good thing? The answer is because you love your own pain. Because somebody in your past said something to you, and then you took it to heart, and now you've never reprogrammed this programming. And you've just tried to play the game to live up to that thing without realizing that you can just end the game right now by getting rid of it and letting it go. And these people that you're worried about judging you, they don't care about you. They don't give a shit about your problems. They're not going to pay your bills. They're not going to be at your funeral. They never think about you. You never cross their mind. They literally don't care. You're going to enter their little consciousness for 3 seconds, then you're gone like a blip in the wind, just like everything else that they look at. But really, you only give a fuck because you think you're important. You're not that important. Like, you're just one person out of a billion. You're literally a little speck of nothing floating on a rock in the middle of infinity. There's 8 other billion people that are worried about them being judged. It's just not significant. Ironically, you thinking that you're some grandiose, super important being is actually screwing you over from everything. When you realize, like, wait, I'm actually not that much of a focal point for somebody, then you're free to do whatever.
What you care about what people think about you? You have to learn one thing in life. You cannot love everybody and appreciate everybody, and it goes both ways. If you don't learn that now, you're gonna always be the fool of somebody. Live your life to the full. Everything you do, and as long as you don't hurt anybody, and you're happy doing what you do, let them.
I had to stop giving a fuck about people. That was the biggest thing. I had to stop caring what people thought about me. I realized that everybody's fucked up. That's the one thing I realized. I walked around and I put these people on a fucking pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're gonna judge me and I'm gonna feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their fucked up world better than you have.
Play dumb. Like if someone says, oh, this house could use a better decorator or some new decorations. It's like, oh, really? Well, we have a savings for that if you would like to donate to it. Like, why do y'all care about what people think? I don't understand this. Like, I could care less. I would act like I didn't even hear what they said. Okay? I would just be doing my thing. Like, why do y'all even care? Like, what? Let me ask y'all a question. What makes you care about what this person thinks? Like, I don't understand that. If it were me and you don't like those people, just excuse yourself. Just like, you know what? I have something that I forgot to do, and leave the room. And eventually they're going to get the picture that you don't like them. Every time they come over, every time they start, just like, you know what? I forgot I have some things that I have to do, and excuse yourself and leave the room forever. Do not come back until they're gone. Because if you just remove yourself from the situation or act like you don't care, they can't win.
A question I get in my comments a lot is, okay, how do I stop caring about what people think? Oh, I care about what people think too much, and I want to stop. And I'm going to give you the tea, okay? I made a video about this, but it was a long time ago, so I'm going to refresh our memory. When people don't tell you something directly, or you don't hear it out their mouth, what you're really thinking are your own thoughts about yourself. And I'm going to give y'all an example. When you wear an outfit, let's say you're outside and at the store and you have an outfit on and people are staring at you. If you like your outfit, you're going to think, oh my God, I ate. Everybody is looking at me like I look so cute today. That's what's going to go in your mind. You're going to assume that they all think that you look cute. But if you feel like, you looking bummy, you didn't put that shit on, then you're going to think, oh my God, they're all looking at me because I got this stain on my shirt. And you see how you didn't hear, no one said nothing to you though. So how do you actually know? It's because you're perceiving yourself. Same thing with people, even that you know better than strangers. You had a conversation with somebody, oh, you said this and this. Now you go home, you thinking about, oh, they probably think I'm this because of this. No, you think you're that because of that. Because you don't know, they didn't say that. Okay, so that's number one. Understand that a lot of times, if it didn't come out their mouth, you are perceiving yourself. So work on those thoughts, babe. Work on how you are looking at you're looking at yourself. And the second thing is, stop thinking it. This is for when people actually do say stuff. This is for when you actually do overhear stuff. Don't even let it in your brain. Thought rebuttal. When you find yourself thinking about, oh, what she said to me, or what you heard them say, think about something else. It's the simplest advice, but it's the only thing you're going to train your mind to understand that that's not important. Okay? Because awareness, attention is the highest spiritual currency. If I said right foot, now you're thinking about your right foot. If I said eyes, now you're thinking about your eyes. You're looking at my eyes. You see what I'm saying? Nothing exists in the reality, your current present moment, unless you give it the attention and awareness. So you have to train your mind to know what's important to think about. Your mind don't think about your right foot all day. It don't. Because it doesn't think it's that important to constantly ponder on. But you think it's important to know what other people think about you, or you think you place their value too high. And it's because you don't know yourself. So you're hoping they can tell you who you are. Whatever they think of you is what they think, and that's not who you are. How people perceive you is not who you are. Y'all know that's my saying. And that's just the tea. That's what I got. And that's what helped me.
So I had somebody the other day ask me under one of my videos, how do you deal with people's perception of you? You don't. It quite literally is not your responsibility to redefine what somebody thinks about you or how somebody has characterized you into a box. Humans do this weird thing where in a way they're able to stereotype you based off of one experience. And I always tell people that I never allow somebody's perception on me or just overall opinion on me to skew how I view myself personally, just because how are you going to tell me about myself when I'm an expert? We have a master's, a doctorate, and an undergraduate degree in mark psychology. So a lot of times you'll run into these people that have had one experience with you or just overall overall like a distasteful experience or a good experience, and they will generalize this opinion onto you and almost put you in a box. So they have a very hard time thinking that you are multifaceted or you can expand outside of the stereotype that they have placed upon you. A lot of people also have an ego. So the fact that when they realize that they were wrong and maybe that they misjudged you or they just perceived you the wrong way, they never really want to admit it or clear your name up in public the same way that they bashed it in public, because they don't want to seem like they didn't know what they were talking about. Which is so ironic, because literally, how the hell are you going to know what you're talking about when it comes to me? Like, you just don't. You just won't. You only know what I tell you, and I keep it that way. So with that being said, when somebody has a perception on you or you're just trying to deal with your overall perception with people, stop focusing on what people think about you and just focus on
You change the way you perceive the world.
You have to know who you are. Like, deep in your core, you have to know who you are. That is the best. That is, no, not the best. That is the key to detaching from people's opinions about you, detaching from people questioning you, detaching from what the little sly jokes that people say about you, to not let it get to you, because you have to know who you are. The only reason why you're letting them get to you is because you don't know who you are at your core. You question who you are at your core, and you kind of believe, like, maybe this could be true. Like, let's say somebody came up and they were like, oh, you're annoying. And you're like, you feel like, oh my gosh, like, I don't think I'm annoying, but like, they just said I'm annoying, so like, that has to be true. And sometimes I do feel like I overtalk sometimes. You see how your brain just this? But if somebody calls you annoying and you're just like, I'm just me, I am who I am, you are who you are, I'm not asking you to change yourself, so I ain't gonna change myself, so move on with life. If you don't know who you are, you're going to start these conversations in your head and you're going to get defined by other people. But if you know who you are deep down in your core, then you'll be fine.
I beg of you, please stop giving a shit about what other people think of you. It is so draining and so heavy to carry the weight of other people's perceptions of you as you live your life. And I know you do it sometimes. I did it for a really fucking long time. It's kind of like human at this point, but that's not to say you need to do it. The truth, my dear, is that no matter what you do, no matter who you are, no matter what you say, no matter how you act, someone's gonna judge you. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. There are way too many unhealed people on this planet for someone to not judge you. And you can't control much, my dear, but you can control how you perceive your reality and how you perceive yourself. As someone who spent many, many years fearing judgment from others so deeply that it crippled who I am entirely, I can tell you that the other side of the coin is so much fucking better. The grass is greener over here. You have nothing to prove to anyone but yourself. You might as well start living a fucking life that feels good for you, not a life that looks good on paper to someone else. And you don't get a do-over at this, so why in the world would you spend your time focusing on what other people think of you rather than focusing on what feels good for you? This is how you liberate yourself. Set yourself free. It's time.
Here's how to stop caring about what people think about you for good. Number 1, get into the habit of writing down, reviewing and learning your own opinions and your own values, because those are the ones that matter. What do you think about this thing? Stop asking everybody else's opinion and neglecting your own. Number 2, get to the core root of why you even care in the first place. Is there some truth to what they're saying? Sometimes people might be saying things to you and it hurts you because it's true, and that's fine as well. And number 3, have an okay and attitude. They said that, but and you're still going to wake up every day. You're still going to live your life. You're still going to go to school. You're still going to go to work. Like, they shouldn't affect you in your daily life. Do you understand? Okay, you don't like me. And what? The world is still going to spin around. You're probably putting this person on a pedestal. Do you understand? Take them off that pedestal you've put them on and put yourself at the top of that pedestal, because it's your opinion that matters.
When you stop giving a fuck about how you are perceived, you will skyrocket. You will skyrocket with your goals. I did not fit in high school. Ask any one of my friends right now, people did not really like me. This developed something in me that really does not give a single flying fuck what a lot of people think about me. That is the reason I was able to get on TikTok and start saying whatever the hell I want to say with my face on this camera in front of hundreds of thousands of people. That is the reason I've been so bold with my career moves at such a young age. That is the reason that I've dated high value men at such a young age and don't care if people are judging it, whatever. That is the reason I dress how I want to dress with my own identity and my own style. I don't adhere to peer pressure. Not fitting in really put that dog in me. And I know this is not the reality for all of us. Putting ourselves out there to be perceived is not easy. To be judged, looked at, commented on, critiqued. There's a lot of risk involved. But no risk, no reward. When you get over this hump of caring what people think about you, you will shoot up. You will be able to genuinely listen to what you want to do in life without outside noises and execute it without caring who's watching while you execute it.
Here are 7 reasons why you should stop giving a fuck. Number 1, you're gonna be dead soon and none of this is gonna matter anyway. If you're lucky, you'll do one thing in your life that matters 100 years from now. Is this that one thing? I didn't think so. Number 2, if you wouldn't take advice from them, then why the fuck would you listen to their criticism? Number 3, nobody thinks about you as much as you think about yourself. That's because they're too busy thinking about themselves. In short, they don't give a fuck, so why should you? Number 4, everything you've learned in life came from making mistakes. Everything you've become good at, you were once bad at. So why would you be worried about making more mistakes? Number 5, can you control it? No? Then fuck it. Number 6, the most important things in life are achieved not by caring more, but by caring less. Wishing you were more confident makes you less confident. Hoping to be happy makes you less happy. And number 7, 99% of your regrets will be the things that you don't do. It's the risks you didn't take, the things you didn't say, the dreams you didn't chase. I don't know about you, but I'd rather feel bad about trying something than not trying anything at all.
You really need to stop caring about what everybody else thinks. Their opinion of you, 1, isn't really your business, and 2, doesn't really have any effect on how you conduct your life. You're never going to catch hate from somebody doing better than you. And so if all you care about is the opinions of others and what they may think if you do X, Y, Z, that's an interesting way to live. And I don't think it's very fulfilling. Because at some point, you're going to realize that they weren't thinking about you at all, and you wasted so much time and missed opportunities because you were scared of what they may say or think, when they probably didn't care at all anyway.
If you have been wanting to learn the art of not giving a fuck, this is for you. If anybody tells you to just stop caring, they don't know what they're talking about, okay? When you're gonna learn how to not give a fuck, you have to learn how to understand what patterns are at play. To be able to not give a fuck, you need to be able to identify what is triggering you, why it's triggering you, how it's affecting you, where in your timeline did it originate from, right? So to be able to not give a fuck, you need to be able to identify, what is this pattern? Why am I so triggered? When you can understand who, what, where, when, why, and how, you'll be able to not give a fuck, because you're going to understand that it's a reflection of your father wound, or it's a trauma bond, or it's so-and-so is leaking their energy everywhere and I'm not your mom type energy. But the internal processing to understand how to not give a fuck is this right here. I'll teach you. This is what I walk my clients through. It's my 3-step. Step 1 is to isolate the variable, or figure out what the trigger is. What is making you feel so upset? What are you giving a fuck about so much that you don't want to care about, rather, okay? 2, transmutation, or the art of feeling, okay? To be able to not give a fuck, you have to fully process and feel what is at play. That's the hard part. It really is, excuse me. So we isolate our variable or our trigger, figure out what it's telling us. 2, we feel it. We figure out where we have not been allowing ourselves to feel the emotions. Ask yourself what comes forward. Do you feel shame? Do you feel rage? Do you feel being silenced? Do you feel an injustice? Do you feel like something's unfair? Do you feel like this person's treating you like so-and-so, right? Figure out what it is and sit with it. Figure out where in your timeline it comes from. Step 3, transcend that pattern. Transcend it. What that means is open your hands and let it go, right? Choose not to. And I know that's really difficult, and you have to practice. Like, I'm 10 years of teaching this, and I'm finally to the point of, like, it's automatic for me. I could just process it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what that was. And I will talk with the trigger. If you want to be able to not give a fuck, you need to be able to have a conversation in your head with the trigger. Figure out what it is. Separating yourself. The same way church and state is supposed to be separated, same way ego and self are supposed to be separate. They can still talk to each other, okay? I'm not like, you don't have to get rid of these things. You have to be able to have a clear line of communication in a way where you can understand and define a boundary with yourself. When you feel the trigger and you go through isolation, transmutation, transcendence, repeating it again and again and again, at some point you're going to have inner knowing and you just won't give a fuck anymore because you're so crystal clear. So like, this is like an investment in yourself time-wise, like doing the work to get where you want to go, because you can identify what it is, how it's affecting you, and then you don't have to repeat it. And once you do that enough times, the patterns that keep repeating will stop holding power over you, and you will literally stop giving a fuck, because you've chosen yourself and you've occupied your own space enough times that it just is a byproduct of choosing you. Not giving a fuck is a byproduct of caring about yourself so much. You give a fuck about you, and you stop letting those patterns run your life.
I think I still don't care about people's opinions of me. And I had to kind of tell, I tell a lot of people all the time, the moment you start caring about what people think about you, the moment you start to shift and change yourself to be satisfying to that person's opinion. Now, let's just make this clear. If you're okay with who you are and who you have become, then their opinion don't matter. But if you're willing to learn and you feel like you need to work on a couple of things, then okay, we could take a little bits and pieces of what that person says. But for me, I don't really care about what anybody think about me. And I never did care about what anybody thought about me or their opinions of me or who I was becoming. And it wasn't from a place of hate or neglect. It was more so from a place that I was always unique and different. And the way my mind works and the way my perspectives aren't usually the flavor of someone else's lifestyle or life or opinion.
No matter what you do, no matter who you are, no matter how fake or authentic you are, there are people who are not going to like you, and there are people who will criticize you. You cannot avoid that. That is going against reality, and ultimately trying to avoid it, which people do. They try to control how other people see them. They try to control how they come off, how they express themselves. What are you ultimately trying to be? The thought police of you. I'm sure you've heard this term before, right? Thought police, here's what you're allowed to think. Here's what you're not allowed to think. Here is what everyone is allowed to think about me. Only good thoughts. No one can criticize me, or I will censor you. You'll get deplatformed. No one can think negatively of me. That's what we all do, funny enough. What about giving people the freedom to think whatever they want about you? And what's so bad about someone thinking negatively of you? Why does it affect you? Why is your self-worth attached to that?
People love to tell you not to care about what other people think of you, but I do care about other people's opinions of me. Other people's opinions of me are signs of how I may or may not have impacted them. I care about how my actions make people feel. I think that's a sign of empathy, right? So my commitment isn't to discard that side of myself. I love that side of myself. I like that I care. My commitment is to be mindful of caring about what I think of me more. I get the final say on whether or not I'm living inside of my values and whether or not I'm living inside of my integrity based on my own personal experience, which only I really know. So my opinion of me matters the most out of everyone in the room, but I still care about other people's opinions. It's okay to have a healthy balance of both things.
Yo, disrespectfully, I really don't give a fuck who don't like me. My mind has grown and elevated so much that I love myself, I love who I am, and when you start to realize that you don't give a shit what folks think about you, your life will become so much better and greater. I'm telling you, child, when you can leave your house every single day and just love yourself and love who you are, love how you look, you don't care what folks think about you. They're not paying your bills. They're not taking care of you or your kids. They're not helping you pay your finances off. And disrespectfully, I'm going to continue to be me. Point blank, period. Y'all be worried about if folks gonna talk about you, if they gonna like you. I don't give a damn. And when you have that I don't give a damn mindset, your life is gonna get so much better. Try it. Cause life is too short to be worried about who's gonna accept me or not. I don't give a shit. Try to tell you, y'all better be like me. Cause I don't be caring.
Do you ever think about the fact that in 100 and 150 years, most of us just aren't going to be here anymore? And the fact that the number one regret that people have at the end of their lives is that they weren't authentic and they didn't actually express themselves in the way that they really wanted to. And all you have to do to stop caring what people think is just imagine that people are talking to themselves in front of you, because that's quite literally what they're doing. Most people are expressing their own limitations, their own fears, their own doubts, and they're using you as an excuse to access that part of themselves. It actually has nothing to do with your potential. It has nothing to do with the reality of your worth. Try it this week. Anytime someone is talking to you, imagine that they are talking to themselves in front of you, whether it's a positive or a negative opinion. You will very quickly realize that the people that have the most positive opinions value themselves enough to tap into positivity, and the people that have the most negative opinions are the people that do not value themselves enough to look for the joy in life. And you will slowly start to realize that it says more about the other person than it says about you, what they have to express in your direction.
So, my Rych Babes, I'm really excited because today I'm officially announcing that Rych Milan Co will have a service that I believe some of you will definitely try to take advantage of, which is Rych Consulting. I have it on my website now where you can now schedule a session with me. I would like to personally talk to you, a 30-minute, 60-minute, 90-minute, I don't care. Let's have a conversation. We can talk about anything and everything you want. This is all a personal opinion, and this is from anything creative thinking all the way to maybe a situational. It doesn't matter. Listen, whatever you want to talk about, we can talk about during your session. So all you have to do is go to Rych Consulting and scroll down. You'll see 30-minute, 60-minute, 90-minute. Choose one, and at the checkout, you'll be able to provide the information that I need to get in contact with you based on the date and time that you selected. So I'm so excited, my Rych Babes. Thank you all so much for continuing to support this channel. I hope that you like this video. Please make sure that you comment down below. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Please make sure that you are subscribed. And I love you all, and I will see you again next time. Stay rich.